Pieces on the board line up, strategy sharp like a dagger. Gonna make the next move tough, watch the king's crown stagger. Pawns punch forward, they never quit, knights jumping through the trouble. Looks this land's open.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Brandmaster Gaming channel. We went ahead and we got through the tutorial. We went through stage 1, where we learned how the pieces move and the rules of the game. Then we went ahead and learned how the pieces work together to accomplish things on stage 2. Then finally on stage 3, we learned our opening setup and our general principles in the opening. Now we're going to put all those skills to the test and finally step out into the real world of chess. We're going to try to gain some experience points to where we can level up to level 2. So how are we going to accomplish this? So what I went ahead and did, I created these goals. And I'm going to take my account that I created in chess.com. And in the 10-minute pool, I'm going to get to 1,500. And in the 3-minute pool, I'm going to get to 1,200. And I'm also going to get my puzzle rush rating to 30. Now, per session goals. Each video I do is going to have one puzzle rush and then 7 10-minute games up until I get to 1,500. Once I get to 1,500, then I'll switch over to the 3-minute rating, and I'll probably end up doing like 10 games since those can be shorter. Now, I would say up to about 1,200 in the 10-minute pool. Actually, I'm going to make it 1,000. 12. Let's go 12. So 1,200, here's what's going to happen. From when I start to 1,200, I'm only going to solve 15 puzzle rushes. Once I hit 1,200, I'm going to extend that up to 30. And I'm going to keep doing 30 up until I complete 1,500 in the 10-minute and 1,200 in the 3-minute. Once I get all 3 of these boxes checked off, that's when I feel like I'm going to be ready to move on to level 2. Now, an extra thing that I'm going to do, which I might put a public copy of this for people to utilize if you want. So I made myself a little tracker here. And the way this is going to work, every game I play, I'm going to put the details here. Sort of. Because why I say sort of is, I created this little form here for me to fill out after each game. So what I'll do, it'll ask me for my date, opponent rating, my rating, a link to the analysis I'm going to be doing after each game, win or loss, where did you go wrong, opening play, and computer accuracy. So I'm going to fill these out. Where did I go wrong? It could be in the opening, middle game, end game, tactics, calculation, and time management. And opening played. Let's see, we got the French Advance, French Exchange, French Rubinstein, Queen's Gambit, London, Slav, King's Indian Defense, Catalan, and other. Throughout the games, I'll introduce each one and kind of explain what they're trying to do and what our game plan is throughout the games. Now, after each game, I'm going to go ahead and go to this study that I created. If you go to leechess.org under the Learn tab, there's a tab here that says Study. And you can hit this plus sign and it'll create a study for you. Now, if you don't want anybody else to see it, you'll switch one of the tabs to Unlisted. And then once you have your study created, it'll take you here. Now, there's going to be these 2 tabs here. You switch over to Chapter. And here you will add a chapter for each game that you play. I think there's only like 30 entries that you can do per study, so you might end up having to create a few more studies to list all the games you want. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a game on chess.com under this account, Ready Level 1. And then I'm going to go ahead and take it over to Lead Chess, my study right here. And I'm going to go ahead under these tabs here. There's one where you can leave comments. So if I make a move on the board, I can say, I love e4. And it's going to put a comment right under e4 saying, I love e4. You can put, oh, I thought this move was bad. Oh, I thought this move was good. Oh, maybe I should do this instead. Those are all things you can do. So that goes ahead. If you hear my dog, he's barking out there outside. Probably hears me talking, is like, what is he doing? Anywho, um, yeah, so we can leave comments in this little box down here. If you want to, you can leave little symbols that represent one of these words here if you like. I don't ever use that, but some people do. Next, there's a computer analysis here. After more moves have been played, you can request a computer analysis and it'll tell you how accurate you were in the game. And notice one of my questions here was computer accuracy. So after each game, I'm going to put my game into this study and I'm going to request a computer analysis to see how I did. How do you put your game in here? I'm glad you asked. So basically what you do, you click on this button that says add a new chapter. And here you can put in the title, but I don't even worry about that because when you put the PGN, it will do that for you. So after we've played a game, I'm going to take the PGN from that game and I'll show you what that looks like. Oops, no. Let me show you. I played a couple of games already just to get the account started. Right now, we're in the 867 level. So here, what we would do, let me remove my picture for a second. So actually, I don't need to remove my picture. Let me bring it back. So here, after you complete a game, there's going to be these little buttons down here that you can do things with. And one of them is going to be this little share button. And what we're going to do is hit the share button. And it's going to allow me to select one of these options. I'm going to go to PGN. So once you click the PGN tab, there's going to be this box here that says PGN. You're going to copy everything in the box and you'll hit, you can't see it, but I hit copy. And now we go back to our study and you paste everything inside that box. You'll hit create. And notice it kind of gives you, it fills out the title for you, so you don't even have to do that part. And now you have your game here. And now you can go through it, analyze it, and then go ahead and go down here to the computer analysis. You'll hit that button and it'll run through. I'll just do it for fun. So it's working its magic right now, trying to figure out all the things we did. And it's going to give you this graph. Let me try. Okay, yeah. Okay, so what's going to happen is it's going to go ahead and it takes a little time, but basically down here, it's going to have our inaccuracies, blunders, mistakes, and at the very bottom it'll show our accuracy throughout the game. The graph will tell you which parts of the game we started going wrong. Now, I was the white pieces this game. If you notice, the graph is continuously going up. Up here it means white is the one with a better position. If black were to take control over the game, the graph would go down, and you would see the graph down here. So that's how this is going to work. I'm going to go ahead and do one puzzle rush, then I'm going to go ahead and do the games. Now, unfortunately, I can't do a puzzle rush today because I already did one. So, we're going to jump straight into the games for this video, and then going forward, we're going to go ahead and do one puzzle rush per day, and then the 7 games with analysis. And then after I analyze it, I'll put it in my tracker here, and then after a few games are played, we'll start being able to see where we're doing good and doing bad, and try to improve. All right, enough talking. Let's get to the games. Okay, 10-minute pool. We're gonna play our E6 D5 setup. Okay, he's playing the French defense, and he didn't play D4 straight away. So this is kind of a weird move order, but here he's going for the exchange variation of the French. Here I'm just going to focus on developing. Knight F6, probably bishop D6. Seems like the most active square for my pieces. And then I'm probably going to castle on the next turn. Okay, this is a good moment. He pinned my knight to the queen, so he's threatening to win this pawn. So we're going to go ahead and defend the pawn real quick. It also just keeps my position solid, and this pawn's going to do really well at restricting this knight because he can't go here or here. So here we are. Now he moved the piece twice, capturing our knight and getting our queen in the game for free. Now we're probably going to castle. He could throw in a queen check. If he does, I'll probably just block with the bishop. And I'll go more in depth after the game. I'll slow it down and kind of explain the move order. With the 10-minute pool, you kind of have to make your moves a little quickly. Not very quickly, but you don't have all the time in the world. So we castled. I'm going to get my bishop in the game. Now, the thing that I'm noticing is if I take this knight, if he takes with the queen, I can win this pawn. The only thing defending the pawn right now is the knight. Now, if I take and he takes with the pawn, it's going to damage his structure. And I might be able to force a checkmate with potentially queen h4. Okay, so he's going to go for that. I'm going to take. Either way, I've identified a way for us to gain an advantage, and I'm going for it. Now I can double his structure, but I think I'm going to take this pawn first. So now we're up a pawn. Now, it's important not to get carried away winning pawns. Okay, here he is taking our pawn with the bishop. The bishop is worth 3 points, the pawn is worth 1. So now we're up 3 points. But we got to be careful. Queen check. We're going to go back. Does he have any way to put more pressure on our king? And I don't see it. So he just gave us 3 points for free here. And this is exactly what I mean by like this is why this setup is so good for beginners because all you do is make solid developing moves and a lot of opponents are just going to go wrong for no reason. He gave us a check here. Our only escape square was here. Now we can go ahead and try to win another pawn, which could be good, but it might open up his rook, and I don't want to allow that. We're up enough material. 3 points is very much enough. So I'm actually gonna make him queen trade us. If he doesn't queen trade, we're threatening checkmate right here. And we get the checkmate. Okay, so that puts us at 897. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and take the PGN. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to create this study here. I'll go ahead and delete. Okay, Robson. Robson was the name of the game. So Raccoon is the one that needs to go because that was the one I was just using for an example. Okay, so oh, sorry, I deleted the wrong one. Shoot. Okay, add chapter. We're gonna go here. Copy. Paste. Okay, so we were playing Raccoon, and we were the black pieces. So let's switch over to the black side. Okay, so before we use the engine, I like to give it a once through to feel it, to understand where I went wrong myself. And then after, I will then use the computer analysis to see what it thinks. So looking at the game, this is our general setup, e6, d5. This move order is a little weird because if they go for the advance, if they want to play d5, they're going to end up leaving this pawn long-term weak. I kind of explained that in stage 3 in the advance because normally in the advanced variation in this move order, we go here and then it's really recommended they support it with the pawn. But when they start out with knight f3 on move 2, they can't do that. So usually if they start in this move order, a lot of people are going to take. Some people might try this move order. And here, like always, we're going to take and go into our Rubinstein. But I would say most of the time, this move order is going to lead to this. So here, we maintain a pawn in the center, which is good. And now we focus on our development. We get our knight in the game. We get our bishop in the game. Now, this was a key moment. See, we're not playing robotic chess. We need to be paying attention to our opponent's moves. That last move, bishop here, is attacking our knight. If we ever moved our knight, our queen, this bishop would then be able to win our queen. So we don't want to let that happen. Now, because of, they call this a pin. A pin is a tactical theme that that kind of forces a piece to stay where it is. And because of that pin, this piece is no longer defending the pawn. So now knight takes here could be a problem. So before I castle aimlessly, I made sure to defend our pawn. And it also prevents the knight from hopping in down the line as well. But more importantly, my pawn's defended, which is what I was concerned with. Now here, he spent an extra move taking our knight, which is an example of why you don't want to move your piece more than once. It brought our queen into the game where it is really doing good. And I don't think he really got much out of that. And now we castle. And now we already have a pretty big threat of winning the pawn or at least damaging his structure. Even if we don't win the pawn, just by damaging his structure, we're going to be really good. Like if he did something like this, for example, I was considering going here. And we might be able to get more than winning the pawn if we go for this. But if you're not sure, usually winning a pawn can be a safe bet. Not always. The way you tell, if you win a pawn and all their pieces come to life, then that's a sign that taking that pawn might not be a good idea. And actually, we're going to see that a little bit later. So here, he just gave us a bishop. Now, it's important, I took it right away because I saw, but it's important to ask yourself, if I take this bishop, what can he do? Here, he could have given us a few checks, queen here or here, but we just tuck our king back, and he doesn't really have any other pieces in the game to do anything. If you see pieces like around here and he does this, you got to be a little more careful because one of those pieces could do something to get you. So you got to be a little more cautious. But here, the only piece in the game is going to, after the bishop, is just the queen. So taking this seems like a really good option. Okay, we tuck our queen back. Now this is the moment that I was thinking. This is a good moment to talk about because I could have won another pawn, but I did not want to let him go rook here and I don't want to let his pieces into the game. This rook is very passive over here, and I want to keep that there. I don't want my opponent's pieces active. If they, I want him as discombobulated as possible. So instead, I'm gonna checkmate in one and force him to trade queens. And if he's not careful, if he tries to save his queen, he's just gonna get mated, which is what happened in the game. Okay, we're gonna request a computer analysis. Okay. Okay. Now, usually what you're going to notice is in the start of the game, white always has a little bit of an advantage because they go first. So, this is our graph, and here white started off with a little 0.1 or 2, which isn't even that big of a deal. If we look at the engine real quick, to try to explain how the engine works. A number with a plus sign in front of it means white's doing better. If there's a number with a minus sign, then that means black is doing better. So, and the higher the number gets, the better white is doing. So you see how it went to 0.4? That's a sign that white's position improved a little bit according to the engine. As you can see, now it's equal. So now it thinks both of our positions are equally as good. And now here we actually went ahead and took over. Now we're slightly ahead. Not, I mean, 0.1 isn't significant. So now 0.7 is starting to go our way. Now we have a little bit of an advantage here. Nothing major yet, but now he's got to be careful. As you can see throughout this game, our advantage is getting a little bit bigger. And you notice with that move, it shot up a lot because it thinks that bishop move was bad. And now that queen e5 was the top move because it threatened mate. I could have still played this, and it probably would have been fine. But when you're up material, a good thought process to have is to just look for trades and also try to attack the opponent's king if you can. I accomplished both here. They had a choice. Either they can trade queens, which would be good in the ending when I'm up 3 points, or they can let me checkmate them and I just win the game right there. And they chose to let me checkmate them there. Okay, so overall I got a 98% accuracy. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go over to my little thing here. And today's date is the 7th of when I played this game. Opponent's rating 858. I like putting the rating in because it's going to tell me the accuracy according to what rating I'm going to look at. Because eventually, when I get over here, I can filter the games based on whatever I want. I can see, you know, as I can make it to where it only shows certain ratings. So if I want to look at higher rated games and see what my accuracy is, I can. Starting out in the lower ratings, you're more likely to have a higher accuracy because the lower rated players are more likely to go wrong. They don't know what they're doing yet. They're still figuring things out and etc. Okay, my rating 897. Okay, now link to analysis. I'm going to go ahead and so I showed you most of the buttons here. The only button I didn't show you was this one. It's like a little share button. And here you can take the link. I'm going to do the link to the current chapter. I don't want the whole study. I just want the one chapter because that chapter will focus on the game. And I will go here. I won the game. Did I go wrong anywhere? No. 98% accuracy. That pretty much means I didn't really do anything wrong. So we played the French Exchange. And computer accuracy, 98. Um, yeah, 98. Okay, so I put that all in there. And now it should hold on, maybe I got the wrong thing. Welcome to my Google Sheets here. Um, okay, here it is. It went to the wrong thing for some reason. Okay, sorry, I gotta fix the formulas for some reason. These formulas are what I use to, so basically what's gonna happen here is this, each box, this is gonna say the total games played and then total games won, lost, and my win percentage. So now it's a little hard to read, I'm sorry, but and it didn't fill this in either. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix this. I'm sorry, guys. The tracker's still a work in progress. But once it's fixed, it's gonna show me where I'm going wrong, the opening I played, win or loss, and eventually, as more games are played, it'll give me a trend of what's going on. Oh, I didn't go wrong anywhere. So maybe what I need to do is add a button that says nothing, just to say that I didn't do anything wrong. Cool. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll just fill that in for now. Huh. Okay. So that is that. So now we're ready for the next game. The first one, it will take a little. That first one took a little while because I'm explaining everything. Now I'm just gonna go through it normally. Okay, now we get the white pieces, but we're doing the same thing. This is the exchange variation of the French, but now we're on the white side. But we're gonna keep doing the same thing. We get our knight out, bishop here. I like this square, it's a little more active. We're gonna castle. You can also play bishop e2, but we're basically getting the same position we just got, only we're up a tempo here. He just pinned our knight, trying to win the pawn. We saw that before, and we went ahead and defended it. I'm gonna get my bishop into the game next. We're threatening to damage his structure. Now, if I do that, he might be able to get the rook into the game. So I'm not going to do that quite yet. I'm actually going to focus on getting the rest of my pieces into the game. I'm thinking queen here. We'll go ahead and connect my rooks, which will be fine. He's attacking our bishop. Now I can take now. If I do that, maybe I can go here. And what I could do maybe is try to trade off this bishop and long term say that this pawn structure is going to be really weak. Or I can drop this bishop all the way back and it would attack the queen and put pressure on their king side. I don't want to let their rook into the game because if they have some they're getting a little bit too many pieces involved in my position, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep my pieces on the board. When in doubt, if you're not sure, keep pieces on the board. You don't want to lose things recklessly. Patience is the key in these positions. Okay. So, all right. They just took our piece. I can take theirs. They would take us. We would take them. So let's do the count. Right now they're up 3. If we take the queen, we would be up 6. If they take the queen, we're down 3. If we take this, we're equal. I don't really like that. So either knight takes or queen takes. If I play queen takes, it gets another piece in the game, and also this bishop is attacking the queen. So now he has to do something with that. And the only square that doesn't lose everything, I think, is this square, because we're threatening the knight. And if he goes here, we can actually pin the queen to the king with bishop here. Okay, and he is going to fall for it, so I'm going to play it. And this is just, yeah, now we're up a queen for a bishop. That's 6 points. Okay, we're winning the knight next. Now we're up more points. Okay, we're just going to drop our queen back now. Okay, he just resigns. Okay, so that takes care of that. Let's go ahead and put this into our study. That game was kind of quick. So let's see. All right, this time we were white. Okay, so here they went into the exchange, played c3, got my. So all these moves are pretty logical. We got our knight and bishop into the game. Knight, bishop, and castle. That's the general game plan for me is I'm going to focus on getting my knight and bishop out. I'm going to castle, then get the rest of my pieces into the game. That's step 1. Okay, here again, I notice that the knight's pinned, so he's threatening to win this. So I defended the pawn. Now I developed another piece that also attacks this knight. I got my other knight into the game. Here was a deciding moment I could have taken, but he had queen takes in that line, which I didn't consider in the game, so let me turn this off. Sorry. So here, that wouldn't have been good. So my decision to go back ended up being the right call anyways. And here it took a minute to think because the sequence kind of just didn't work out for us. So if you can't see something clearly, just go for the most solid option that gets another piece in the game. That's, now we're one step closer. And now he just lost his queen, and we win the game. Let's see what the computer thinks. Okay, looks like we got another 98. Our graph was pretty significant. We didn't really go wrong anywhere. Now, if you want to say, how do we tell if we went wrong? So, if usually there's a dip in our graph, we went wrong somewhere. I'm not this little dip doesn't I wouldn't say is enough. Like it's got to be significant and it really impacts your position. If when we get there, I'll tell you when that happens. Okay, so now we're going to get the chapter link. We're going to go over here, submit another response. Okay, so now we're going to go with, again, today is October 7th. This time their rating was 912. My rating is 926. Now, what I'm going to have to do in this next game, because chess.com has a thing where if you're playing lower rated, um, they could consider my account smurfing, and they'll try to ban my account, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in a loss just to make it seem like I'm legit on their side. I think once I get to past like maybe like 1,000 or 1,200, maybe they won't care. I hope not. Anyways, we won that game. Nothing went wrong. We did French exchange again. 98. Okay, we did that one, and now we'll we'll do the same thing, but I'm gonna make a mistake somewhere in the game, and then kind of let them win. That way, we continue being educational, but also maintain our account. So here, they're not playing the French. This is called the Chigorin, which actually I didn't put in the core. I didn't put it on there, and I need to put that on there. So this is good. Now we're just going to focus on solid development first. Knight f3, bishop e2, castle. Here I like bishop e2 better because knight here could be annoying. If you wanted to play bishop here, you could start off with c3 and then do it. But I think outside of the French, I'm usually going to put the bishop here for a while. I'll let you know when things change and why. When in doubt, put the bishop here, is what I think. If you can't really figure out where to put it, this is the safest spot. Okay. Now I'm going to get my c-pawn into the game, and then I can get my knight underneath it. Okay. We can win a pawn here, but we're not going to. We can also try to win the bishop here, but I think he can take. Take. Man, that gets weird. But we're not. So here we could. This is probably the best move, because if he takes, we take and hit the queen, and he doesn't have time to take one of our pieces. But we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to play. We're going to play this move. And see what they decide to do. We could have either won a pawn, or we could have won, I think, at least a piece in that line. But we're not going to do that here. Okay. I'm going to take back with a pawn, I guess. Okay, so now this is going to get a little weird because if he takes us, we're going to be left with this pawn that's really hard for us to support, and he does. Now, he should probably castle or get his bishop in the game, I think. This guy's playing pretty good. He blundered that one move, I think. I'm pretty sure we had a better response. But maybe I'll just win this anyways. Maybe if... No. No, I'm going to throw in the loss, I think, just to keep it going for now. Rook here would attack the queen. So he would probably have to play bishop there. Bishop takes, pawn. He'd have to play pawn takes. And then... Oh, wait, no. Here, if he goes here, we have this. But we're not going to do that here. We're just going to bring another piece into the game. Okay. Let's save our bishop. We could have considered knight takes, pawn takes, and then bishop takes. And the bishop would pin the knight. Okay, he wants to win our queen. I'm just gonna get it out of the way. Yeah, the big mistake, well, there's a couple mistakes. He pushed in his center too early. I think he should have castled first, and if he did, anything he did in the center would have probably have been way easier for him. Okay, we're gonna save our piece. Knight here is really bad because we would have this in the end and win that queen. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take. He's attacking our knight. Um, guess I'll go here. And this will be where I make my mistake. I'm gonna hang my knight. So now, and he doesn't fall for it. I'm gonna keep it there. I'm gonna pretend like I defended it, but didn't realize that it's only defended once. It's very important to pay attention to how many defenders you have, because now I just lost my I'm down 5 points now. And here I'm just gonna resign. If you guys are if you guys are playing, I recommend never resigning unless it's clearly obvious you can't win. If you like pay attention, sometimes you can win on the clock. You know, if you're playing fast and if they're playing slow and they have a lot of time. Now, I'm not going to put this game in the tracker because I feel like I made those moves on purpose. So I'm not even going to really consider that. But what we can take away, so they did play the Chigorin, and the way you can tell, so they didn't play the French defense, and they decided to put the knight in front of this pawn. If you ever see that, they call it the Chigorin, the Chigorin. All right, now we're down to 901. And so actually right here, this is officially where the blunder happened. I could have played this move right now. And I kind of didn't even notice it either, to be honest, at first. So I was probably playing a little too fast here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this would have been the top move. And he can't take because we would take here and we would win the queen. If he tries to take our piece, we would win the queen. But instead, I just played a weird move to see if he could do stuff. And even when I played bad moves, we still had lots of chances here. We could have, I mean, he didn't even take our knight that was hanging. It's important to understand when your pieces are hanging or not. You know, being able to use your tactics to keep your pieces defended and working together That's like the biggest thing that'll take you to 1500. Because if you just combine that with a solid opening setup, you're just going to be unstoppable. All right, next game. Now here we're going to win. Ooh, I like that board they got. That I don't think I could get a board like that. I wonder how they got that. Oh, cool. They're playing the same. No, this is a waste of time. See, they just now we're basically the white side because they just played a move that didn't really do much. We're getting our pieces into the game, getting ready to castle. And these pieces, they moved, but they're not really in the game at the moment. They're kind of still very passive. They also blocked in their bishops. So I castled, I got my C pawn in the game. Now I'm trying to focus on getting these pieces in the game. So this guy either wants to go this way, or I can put him here to go this way. I don't think I can ever play this move because he has two pawns clamping down. So I'm going to try to get my bishop to go this way. Okay. He could attack us, but I'm just going to, let's see. If I go here, knight takes, pawn takes. We'll have a pawn here. Maybe we can do something with that. What I don't know. With in doubt, keep your pieces on the board. Now I could consider a move like f6 to try to, but we don't want to open up our king side. We would rather expand on their side, on this side of the board or the center. Okay, so I'm going to play this move. It connects our rooks. And I'm thinking down the line, if I ever take this, maybe if they take this way, this pawn will be loose. I can also, I should have maybe have considered going bishop here. And I think I'm going to set that up. I'm going to play this move first, gain some space on the queen side, and then I think I'm going to go here. I move this piece twice. And so that's an area of improvement I can consider. And I think that comes down to time management for me because I'm trying to talk things out a little too fast here. And I think that is making me rush my moves a little too much. Okay. So I think now I'm going to take. And here, okay, he's going to do that. And the problem with this move is it gives me a square for my knight to go. And if I get my knight here and then here, I think we're going to be doing really well. I can also consider this sequence that I'm seeing, which is bishop takes, and the goal of this sequence here is would be to win this pawn. So what I'm thinking is, if we take here, I guess he could take with the king. So if he takes with the king, my idea won't work. But my idea was if he takes with the queen, I can take this, and then I would be able to take that. But and also if he plays knight takes, I can't do that as well. So I might not do that. Probably not. Now if he decided to move this piece by chance, then I might be in better shape to take that. we'll see what our opponent does here. Okay, so he's taking our pawn. We can take back. Now, before we do, we do have this move, which would be check. Do we need to play that move? No, I think we're just going to take this. And notice he doesn't have any pieces attacking us yet, so I don't see us losing any pieces here. So I think this isn't going to work out for our opponent. And if you notice, now our rook is in the game. Okay, he's giving us another piece. Now we're up 4 points. Okay. Okay, I'm going to bring my knight closer to their side of the board. And my knight's really hard to get rid of because of this pawn. Okay, he moved his knight, but this uncovered the fact that I can win his rook. Now, I'm up points, so I'm going to look for the most trades I can get here. So I'm actually going to play this first. And then take here. And then cash in at the end. Get the most trades you can, and then cash in to win more points. Once we do that, then it's going to be really hard for our opponent to fight back. Okay. We're going to take this guy next. And we take this guy at the end. Okay. Now I'm going to... I think here's a good example of when you're up a lot of material, it's okay to give some back. So what I'm going to do is... no, I'm not. I lied. I'm just going to point my bishop here, where it's going to attack this pawn. He can probably push the pawn, which makes sense. He doesn't. Okay, so I think I'm going to take with the rook, because I can force more trades that way, I think. Okay, we're going to take that. Okay, we'll bring our other rook into the party. And I'll keep the king moving this way. Okay, and at this point, it's all about checks. Find all the checks you can and try to checkmate them. Okay, so I think if I put the queen here, then I can do this and it would be checkmate. Right, let's just go here. So here, we'll just take this guy with check. He can take this, but we're just going to slowly mate him. Okay. This is going to be checkmate coming up. Not quite checkmate yet because he has this. Okay. Let's go here. man, I can't quite figure out a quick way to mate him. So what we're gonna have to do. Okay, I think I'm gonna go here and then here. I think that's gonna be the mate. He's gonna have this, but I think we just go here. We don't even take this because he's gonna have a check. We're gonna use their pawn as a shield, and now we have the mate. There's no stopping queen here. He could block. He could try to do like queen here. No, he can't. He can't even block. Queen here maybe, but there's no stalemate. See, he's almost if these pieces were gone, he would have no more legal moves, and it would end up being a draw because we didn't check him while he had no legal moves. So even if he gets rid of one of these pieces, he would need to get rid of both in order to get the draw here. And I think here I could put room for improvement ending here because I definitely didn't end in the most clean way. And that's probably what's going to bring down my accuracy in this game is probably going to be down a little lower because of that.
Yeah, this was definitely not the cleanest. And also, it's probably the hardest to like using their own pawn as a shield is definitely an advanced concept. Basically, your opponent can't capture their own pieces. So, having their pawn kind of sit in front of your king can make it tough for them to sometimes break through to attack your king. And also, if I took this pawn, I noticed that they would have this check that would win our rook. That's an important detail to notice as well. It's never too late to lose all your pieces. And it looks like this guy is going to time us out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill out my tracker ahead of time. I can't, because, I mean, I kind of could, I guess. No, I can't. Shoot. Well, we can do our own analysis while we wait. So here, basically played our same setup, but they made a wasteful move here. And then these moves don't make a lot of sense because they're not participating in the game as much. And they kind of blocked in their pieces by doing it. So you notice how all my pieces are flowing. You know, this piece, this bishop is a little passive right now, but notice it didn't, I mean, it could be here potentially where it would be the most active, but even here it's fine. It's not, and the difference between this one and this one is I probably don't need to move this piece again. I can concentrate on getting the rest of my pieces into the game, but he has to move these pieces again if he wants to get these bishops out. So here we just kept playing normally. Okay, looks like we finally won. Okay, so let's put our game into the analysis. Okay, I think I'm going to change this to 5 games because the analysis part of it takes a little while. Maybe, we'll see. Okay, this time yeah, because this is already an hour video, and we have only played like 3 games. So, but I think a lot of that was just because it was an introductory video of what we're doing here. All right, let me switch colors because we are on the black side this time. So yeah, we just played logical developing moves. We got all our pieces into the game. We've only moved each one once. And we're also paying attention. We notice that these pawns are clamping down on this square. So we can't really get our bishop out this way. And if you noticed that this pawn was weak and that this diagonal was kind of open, that's great. Those are definitely things to keep aware of. Now, if we did ever get a piece here, because where the knight is, he could technically support the pawn going here. So taking advantage of that doesn't seem likely in this position, but it's good to just notice that that's there in case anything comes up later. Notice just because you notice something doesn't mean you always have to jump on it. Sometimes you can't really do anything right away. So if you can't see something obvious against that move, then just keep going with your general game plan until something happens. Now here is a moment where I could have considered a5 and going bishop here on the next turn versus what I did. I think b6 was too slow. Now, because of our opponent playing in a weird way, it probably didn't hurt us that much, but principally, we didn't continue building up our pieces in an efficient way. Well, we did, but it could have been even more efficient, I guess. But this is still fine. I ended up moving the bishop there anyways, because the bishop here would have it would have taken a while for him to actually get in the game, while right now he's in the game, you know. Now he's actually participating in the fight, while here he's kind of stuck behind his wall. Okay, now here I was considering bishop takes. Oh wait, no, here I brought the knight up first because he should have taken back with a pawn because then I can't advance my pieces. But taking with that knight really opened up these squares. I could have considered pushing here, which might have been good, but would have left us with a weak pawn. So I think this was definitely the right play. And then he just started sacrificing all his pieces for no reason. See, we just kept solid and kept improving, and he just self-destructed. And, you know, we didn't do anything fancy there. Yeah, we got all our pieces into the game, but that's it. Okay. And then ultimately, we were pretty much clearly winning here. So I think we played pretty good from this point forward. Now, what I should have played in the game is queen here. I think I even talked about it too, but I didn't play it because then we play pawn here and then it would have just been checkmate. But instead, I did that, and it got a little complicated there at the end. Okay, let me see what the computer thinks.
just putting it together. It already shows that I made one mistake in this game, so that's a good. Okay, so let's see if we can. So 2 inaccuracies and 1 mistake. We got 96%. So where was our mistake? Queen here. Why was this a mistake? Okay, it says lost forced checkmate sequence. Queen e8 was best. So if I went here instead, oh, okay. It's what I ended up doing in the game, but this, so if I went here, I'm threatening here, which would have been mate. But I imagine if I go here, can't he just go here? So what's the idea here? Bishop here. And I guess I'm going to go here, and then he has to go here, and then that would be mate. All right, let me fill out my tracker here. 96%. October 7th. Rating was 901. My rating was 925. Link to analysis. Okay, we go here. Okay, we won the game. Okay, I would say end game we went a little wrong there. After that, it was pretty good. This was. I'm going to put this in the other category because it didn't really fall under anything that I have here. And our accuracy is 96%, I think it said. Yep. Okay. On to the next game. D3. D4. Okay. Okay, now we don't want to keep moving our pieces more than once, so to do that, I'm going to block with the bishop and then put the knight here. And then we'll castle. Keeping it solid and simple. Okay, he is giving us a check, but we can just block with c3 and move we were probably going to play anyways. Now we can castle. Now, pay attention. The queen is now attacking this pawn. So we can't move this bishop yet. So I might end up making a move like queen here to defend the pawn. And now I can think about bringing my bishop out on the next turn. Okay, and that's what we're going to do. Then I'll bring my knight out here, and then we should be doing good. Okay, he spent another move moving the bishop again, which I don't see a clear way to take advantage of anything he did yet. So I'm just going to focus on getting my knight in the game. I might take an extra step just to go bishop here to really put more pressure on his king side. He's wasted a lot of time so far, so spending an extra moment to go like this might be good for us. Even if it's not, long term, I think the bishop's going to do more going this way. Okay? And see, we provoked g6 he had to defend, and now we'll go ahead and bring our rook to the open file, attacking this bishop. And what's interesting, okay, he did that, which is good. He defended his bishop, which he really needed to, otherwise it would have been, he might have lost tactically there. Now I am just going to, I don't see a clear way to take advantage of anything yet, so I'm going to get my other rook into the game. And that's basically our whole game plan. We're just slowly getting every piece into the game as fast as possible. Okay. Now, so I'm going to give my king so I don't see a useful move for us at the moment. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kick this bishop and see what it wants to do. If he takes, we get another piece. The knight that was once passive is now doing something good. Okay. So that was actually a mistake. Can you see why? So he trapped in this rook. And now when we go bishop here, we're just going to win the rook. Patience is the key. Solid developing moves, keep getting your pieces into the game, and the weaker opponents will self-destruct sooner than later. And then eventually you're going to get up in rating to where they don't self-destruct as much. And that's what a higher rated opponent they'll actually make you fight for it and learn and improve even more. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and take that. So now we're going to be up 2 points. I think I'm just going to bring my knight to the center and start looking for some trades. So I would definitely like to trade there. Okay, I'm going to bring my rook into the game next. Going to look for some more trades maybe somewhere. I might consider, okay, he's going to go there. Okay. I'm going to move my queen here just to attack the knight to see what it wants to do. I would love to see another trade. So if he wants to do that, we will let him. He could go here and try to plug everything up. Nope. He's trading. And now see here, now that we're up 2 points and we have an advantage, that kind of justifies us moving our pieces. Like, I moved this queen a lot, if you noticed, but it all led to trades, which is increasing my chances of winning the game. So, as long as there's a clear idea behind it, it's okay to move your piece more than once, but you want to avoid it if you can. You don't you don't necessarily want to keep moving your piece, but if you find a good reason for it, you, and generally I'd wait only until like the end part of the game. Okay, I'm gonna go here, see if he wants to trade again. If he takes, I'll probably take with this rook, because this rook is deep in enemy territory right now. Okay, well now we have this, which wins that. Now don't get crazy. We're just gonna take this queen. We're up 7 now. Actually, we're checkmating him here. Okay. GG. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and add a new chapter. Okay. We were the white pieces this time. And we did our solid setup here. I'm actually gonna request, yeah, I'll just request it now. Okay, this was the one difference. We blocked with our bishop. That way we can keep our solid moves going. Then I got my bishop out, got my knight out. Then I took an extra moment just to get my bishop to a better square. I brought my rook into the game. Pretty much every piece was only moved once except for this one. And he moved this queen probably 3 or 4 times. As if you notice, I have way more pieces participating in the game than they do right now. And that time really allows me to keep building and get more of an initiative. Like these rooks here are a really good, are way better than his rooks. And it's gonna make it a lot harder for him to play here. This gives me a little escape square someday, and also just asked him what he wanted to do with that bishop. And now it didn't even think that was the best move, funnily enough. It's like bishop here, but I just went for the points in this scenario. And now yeah, that was probably the best move there because we're gonna pin the knight, and that's gonna lead to more trades for us. But I tried to trade this way, and he just basically traded everything down here. It didn't like this move for some reason. Oh wow, I could have I could have sacked the queen and then did the checkmate. But instead we did it this way. Oh wow, so actually 94%. It really hated this move. But I think our reasoning behind it makes enough sense to where I'm not going to consider that a bad move here. So in the tracker, let's see, we got 917 versus 947. Link to analysis. Okay, let's go over here. Let's go to chapter URL. Yeah, I'm definitely going to lower the amount of games. I think to 5 per video because it definitely takes a little bit more time than I was thinking to do all this. So
Okay. And here we played, I think it was the French exchange. Okay. This time it was 94. Okay, we submit that. And here's all our games so far. The only thing I don't like is it's like not a little, I had little boxes created, but it didn't do it, so, oh well. Anywho. I think we have time for one more, and then I'll wrap it up here. Okay, we're gonna play our solid setup. Bringing out the queen too early is never really a good thing to do. But I don't see a way for us to take advantage of it yet, so we're just gonna keep developing normally. I'm not sure if I want the bishop here, so I'm just gonna keep it here for now. And now we're just gonna castle in the next turn. Okay, he just spent a ton of moves moving that piece over and over while we're already castled. If he takes, we could just take back with the bishop. Okay. Now he might be, I think he's trying to put the bishop here, but there's a problem. So if I take, queen takes, I could put the bishop here and kind of force him to make an awkward move here. But I don't really see what that does. I think I'm going to go knight here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, force the queen here, and then I'm going to bring the other knight in the game. And now we get this knight in the game. And now the knight that was kind of a little more passive is now in the game. Okay. I'm just gonna kick the queen again. It's moving a lot. So this will give me an escape square down the line. Now we just keep building our pieces up. I think maybe I should, I don't know where I want this bishop. A piece might try to go here, so I'm going to play this. And then probably b5 on the next turn. Now, okay, let's get my last piece into the game, and then we'll start looking to, we'll see if we can take advantage of anything. I'm trying to see if I can go knight here. Attack the queen. Maybe put some pressure on this pawn here. Probably going to go queen here if I do. So I can probably go here, which will activate my bishop. So I think I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to push. Keep building towards his queen side. He probably has to go here. Now, if I go knight here, I can go queen here and attack the pawn. He's probably going to go there. I kind of like it because it gets another piece in the game and forcing him to keep reacting to my threats will further my cause in the long run because he keeps reacting while I keep building. Okay.
I think I'm gonna go. If I go bishop here, he could kick it. I don't think I want to let that happen. But I don't know how to proceed. If I go knight here. Oh, I think I see an idea. Knight here, right? And if I push this pawn, then the knight and the queen will attack this square. But I'm going to keep things simple. I'm just going to bring another piece in the game. And see, he's opening things up for me. I don't have to open it up for him. Now, if he takes, I'd probably take with the bishop to try to hold on to this pawn. I'm going to go, let's see, knight here. I kind of like knight here. We're going to attack the queen and ask him what he wants to do with it. If he goes here, there's a lot of potential because there's this potential fork on f2, winning the rooks, maybe even the queen, depending on where he puts it. And the bishop is behind it. So I'm looking at weird ideas where if I put the knight in check like this, maybe this bishop can really do some damage. If he puts the queen here, for example, then I can go knight check and then win the queen. So that's a tactic to keep an eye on. What's interesting is I don't think he had a move to avoid both. Now, if I go here, so I think he wants to take and then threaten checkmate. So I'm gonna take a moment to play this first, which kind of forces him to go here. And then I'm gonna take this and win a rook. And pawn. Boots here. Love you. Love you most. Yes, 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 yes. Video, someone doing in. Okay. That's actually a good move because it does stop the fork. So what am I going to do? Maybe I can go here. What's funny is if he tries to push, then it actually makes it to where I can fork him. So I think I don't know what I want to do. Maybe I go here. Pawn here looks very interesting because you can't take because the rook is hanging. I'm not sure. Hmm. I'm not really seeing anything here. I kind of like that option, but this is the move I really want to play, I think. Okay. Let's play it. So if he takes either pawn, rook check, he has to block with the bishop, and then knight check. And the only way to hold on to the position is to go there. He's going there. Okay. Can I go here? No, because he just takes that. Okay, I think I'm gonna go here next. I'm gonna keep kicking this queen until it gets to a square that I want him to. Whoa. Honestly, this guy's playing really well for 959. Really well. Notice he didn't like he hasn't really blundered anything until now. But he really put in a lot of and even now it's not so simple, but I'm just gonna go for this. I think, I'm winning a piece, so I should. So I'm kind of nervous over that, but I'm just gonna go for this anyways. I see that we're attacking this bishop, and that's kind of a good thing because now it's really gonna prevent us from getting checkmated. Because I kind of see a situation where this queen and bishop will tag team tag team me, and I don't like that. Okay. Now let me take a minute to kick this queen out of here. If he took, then he could have really checkmated me there. It's never too late to lose the game, guys. Never too late. Okay. So now, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Alright. I think I'm gonna play some defense here for a second. Maybe not. Let me see. Oh, I could play defense and offense. The best defense is a good offense. That's what they always say. So I'm thinking bishop here. It it defends this pawn and attacks this guy. Okay, I'm just gonna take this guy. Okay, now we're gonna take this guy. Okay, now we're looking for some trades. Now, when I go here, he is gonna have this or this. But I do have this check, and I think the combination of this queen and rook will overcome him. So, let's find out. Because, yeah, this is checkmate if we allow it. So we really got to beat him to the punch here. Okay. Now we go here. And his only move left is queen here. And after rook takes, it's over. That dude played really, really well for that rating. He didn't really make. I mean, he made a lot of weird moves in the early game, but it's definitely been the closest game so far. But I think his opening choices really gave him problems down the line. I think here was the moment where I could have done better. See, I brought the queen here to attack the pawn, which was a decent idea. But I think I should have just pushed the pawns instead. I think these pawns barreling through would be more effective than my queen being there. Yep. But even with the queen, we're still doing pretty well. Yeah, we're really putting the heat on him right now. Just trying to get that queen to a square where we can finally do something. And the key there is just making sure that that queen gets out of there before this rook and queen can do anything to us. And finding ways to stay active and also improving your pieces and defending. There's a balance between the defense and offense. You can't always look to attack. Sometimes you need to make sure that you're not getting checkmated on your end. But all right, we got the win. Let me put this in here real quick. Wow, an hour and 41-minute video. What the heck? I underestimated how long it can take people to do these types of things. So, lesson learned. Let me go ahead. We need to add a chapter. Let's go over here. We'll go over to share. PGN. Come on over here. Give it the old computer analysis. We did the analysis kind of already on chess.com, so now we can just go straight into the computer over here. 3 inaccuracies, 1 mistake. Okay, so it didn't like bishop e7. It says h5 is best. Yeah, but I'm never playing that. That really goes against what I'm going for here because I don't even know what h5 really does. Like, and long term, it's gonna make it hard for me to castle that way now because so notice bishop e7 is the second move. I could have considered e5 as well, but I'm focusing on sticking to this setup, which even by doing that, we're already doing well. And it liked this idea. Oh, it almost like it wants me to push e5 again, which makes sense. But our play was just good on its own. So I won't even consider those inaccuracies because playing moves you don't understand is a one-way ticket to losing the game. I rather stick to my comfortable setup that I know and not necessarily setup, but my philosophy of playing, which is being solid, taking your time, getting one piece, only trying to move your pieces only once, paying attention to your opponent's moves, waiting for your opportunity to strike. Like that's what I'm doing. I don't see a clear way to take advantage of this yet. Maybe knight here, but I didn't see anything concrete yet, so I'm just getting my pieces in the game. Now here, I'm like, hey, I can get my bishop in the game. Cool. And I don't want to let them get their pieces in the game, so pushing here makes a lot of sense to me, which it didn't like, but to me it made a lot of sense. And it actually, Queen a5 was the top move there. A5 was there. I mean, it makes sense. You're getting your queen in the game. King here. And then moving the queen again. I don't think I would have found that. Knight here makes sense because after the trade, the file opens up and maybe my rook can get into the party. But I decided to go after the queen instead. And I just kept kicking it around and I went after all the material.
and kick the queen out. And went for the mate. Cool. 94 accuracy. Let's see. 951. 969. Even if my account gets deleted here, I'm going to record these anyways. And what I'll do is I would just play at a slightly higher level than I was. And I'll keep playing games and I'll that way I can at least keep it going, I think. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, I got it. I got the strat down. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're going to go let's see. 951, 969. I think I got that right. Okay. Link to the analysis. Boom. We won that game. I'm gonna put this is definitely in the other category. Even though the computer said we went wrong, I'm not gonna consider that going wrong because we did everything right on our end. We followed our principles. We stayed patient, and we slowly built up enough to where we could take advantage of our opponent's weird moves. So computer accuracy is 94%. Personally, I'm good with that. All right. K12. Okay, I think I should go here. Equals. Boom. Oh, I see what the problem was. They need you to spell out average. Boom. Perfect. The reason why I did that is if I filter this to lost or okay, so eventually when the filters work, this accuracy will change depending on what I put in here. So if I just put like filter column, we would go to the French exchange, right? And it thinks I have a 96% accuracy. But if I switch it to other instead, okay, it's still not doing it. That's not. Okay, so maybe that's not going to work out. Work in progress. Maybe I'll just ditch the tracker. I don't know. We'll see. It was a good initial thought, but it requires a lot more thinking to make it work.
All right, that's gonna cover today's video. We introduced what we're accomplishing. We're in the trenches. We just got out of the tutorial, and now we're roaming through this new game, trying to figure out how it all works, grinding the XP, trying to level up. And so far, I think we're doing pretty good. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again in the next episode. Bye!